Okay, now we're over with the Cruz harness, and I'm going to do the same thing with the Cruz harness. This is your dash connector. That's ground. This moves your map sensor for your analog dash cars inside the car instead of being outside the car. Okay, now you have the box. Danielle, pause that for a second. Okay, grab the box. So the box is plugged in. Okay, here is your feed for your, this is going to work out really good for your map. You just piece of hose and a 90-degree with a push light fitting right there. That's going to be good. The terminal strip is still available. Okay, can't get it out. That's what this one looks like. I will go back and show what it looks like on the Casper's harness in a minute. This is something that you would have to populate or buy from Bob, and or buy the connector and make it yourself, and you would have to fish it through the firewall. So we've got this integrated, which is for the LS coils. Future design, we're going to add a wire right here for tack out. There's also a PWM or something in here. Anything that needs a wire that we can repurpose, I'm going to get a wire in there and just have it there, whether we need it or not. Okay, so that's what we look like. Now we're coming up to the firewall. It looks the same. Okay, here is our spark module, again, ESC module. Here's our first batch of extra wires, okay, for the stuff I'm going to add on. This is a prototype. We'll figure out what these are going to be, if there's going to be a connector or what. I don't know yet. Okay, here is the battery. Okay, picture the battery. Fender well, negative on the battery, positive on the battery. 2 relays, 3 fuses. Don't even know what those 3 fuses do yet. Hey, Don, I need a schematic on that, please. Okay, then we have the wideband harness. Again, plugs in. There's our wideband harness. Okay, and then we move over to our starter. Here's your fusible links. There's your purple wire from the ignition switch. So we're down to the back of the engine. Notice we don't have any grounds. All the grounds have gone from the engine to the battery. All grounds are included, encapsulated there. Okay, now we have, oh, make me eat crow. We got 1 ground, excuse me. Yeah, that's a ground. Okay, this is a ground for the coils. This is your right bank ground. This is your left bank ground. Here's something I didn't point out that's different that I like, is that even, so 2, 4, 6, odd, 1 through 5. Here's your fuel injector harness. He gave me one of his injector harnesses too. I usually use Racetronics fuel injector harnesses. Shameless plug for Racetronics. Injector harness. Okay, here is our running down the right side of the valve cover. Cam, shielded cable. IAC. Yes, we can put an LS IAC on that. We will. That was an oversight. Obviously, most of my customers are going to use LS IACs. This is going to be a TCC plug. All right, now we're over the back of the engine. My car has a Power Master, so Power Mass. Okay, we don't have to include this. We can delete this if you have vacuum brakes. This can be deleted. Here's extra bundle of wires on the left side where the relays were. So yes, the relays have been eliminated. They may come back, they may not. We're going to use a trigger wire to trigger a relays, for fan relays. There's other wires here. And again, I will have to go through and see what I'm going to use, what I'm not going to use. All right, this guy plugs into the firewall, comes out other side of the fuse box, and then your body harness goes in right there. Okay, so we come back up the harness, and now we go down the engine. So instead of running it on the outside in the plastic loom or convoluted tubing, we're actually going to run it down the valve cover. Okay, and here we have shielded cable on the crank sensor. Crank sensors, the Ecu-gn works with more than one type of crank sensor. So I believe Don uses a different style of crank sensor on his 12-1. I don't believe it's a Hall effect. Okay, now we have our coolant temperature sensor. And we have our AC, we have our clutch and our pressure switch in the back. We have our alternator, already said coolant temperature sensor, and look what's missing. Okay, we don't have a MAF, we don't have a purge, we don't have any of that stuff. So this is just a cleaned up harness, which is for a custom application. This is a custom application. This is not for a stock replacement harness. Okay, here's the D599A setup, which is what I use most of the time and what I'm partial to. It plugs in, boom, and then it's going to plug in like so and like so. Okay, Bob Bailey, he uses the little board, and I'll tell you why he uses a little board. The board has a purpose, not because we want to be different. The board has a buffer in it to generate the tach signal, and it loops the cam and crank signals together. But we can do away with this if we're going to run a tach wire directly from the ECU to people on the dash, which is something I think we're going to add later on. Okay, so this is Bob's version, and this is Don's version. Okay, and then we can take this off, put the D599A away for the guys who like the LS coils, and there's your LS coils, and then you have your LS harness, and they are numbered, so Steve, pay attention, but let's just pretend I paid attention. We're going to plug them in, bam, bam, and then you have all your plugs, and they're all going to plug in. Okay, so 2, 4, 5, and I'm assuming 1, 3, 5. Assuming, I will confirm. So this is the overview. Okay, yes, I asked for this harness. It's a Steve V project. I'm looking for something custom. I'm looking for something to suit my needs, based on 5 years of working on Ecu-gn, and that's why this harness was born. And that's it. I didn't get this harness to sell a bunch of them to people, but Don and I agreed that yes, we can sell it. Yes, I will tech support it. We will refine it. And guys, if it's a piece of crap and it don't work, we'll tell you it is, and we'll shelf it or we'll fix it. So both these harnesses are good harnesses. They both serve a purpose.